hello everyone, and welcome back to the Redstone Quarry podcast, episode 14. Let's introduce everyone.
And for the first time in a few weeks, I'm back. Darksack's here.
Hey guys, it's me and me.
Hey, I'm Marshall, or Soccer, whatever you want to call me.
I'm Niels.
And I am totally not Wout. Okay,
Are you?
I don't know.
Are
I
you?
just had to be a bit original.
He's an
for
imposter.
once.
Already failed and used my real name.
Oh my god. Now we're gonna use it.
Might as well give your address too now.
We won't use it. Would never do that, you know. Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess we should move on. First,
Some editorial?
yeah, is there really anything we can say?
Yeah, last week I forgot to mention it in the beginning. We now have a Twitter account.
Oh, yeah, but we are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess
Yeah.
you should mention it.
I mentioned it at the end, so I don't know if everyone noticed it.
Yeah, you're right.
At TRQ podcast, we will leave a link in the show notes.
Again. Oh well.
Yeah. And on
we'll
the
have to make
screen, I will
notes.
probably put an annotation, maybe.
Well, I'm quite happy we're getting the show notes done easier than normal. You know
Mhm.
what? I'm gonna try this podcast. I'm gonna look up the links, but I'm gonna say stuff like podcast Twitter. So like this
If you
should
say
that.
everything like that to the bot, maybe, so it's not interfering with other stuff you might say.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, so I'll try to keep record notes. May sound a bit weird to the viewers, but I guess it's not that professional thing either. So let's continue. Yeah, I guess we can also, the show notes have been going quite well past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think this week we got uploaded a video on Tuesday, and then show notes
Oh, on the
Wednesday.
Monday.
Really, that was quick.
I think it
Alright.
was on Monday. Mhm.
Then show notes on Tuesday or Wednesday. So yeah, that's really well. We're gonna try to keep that up for a bit, see how things go. And yeah, I think that's everything to be said about the podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Alright, let's move on then. Follow up. I think I'd like to start, in case you guys don't have problems with it,
Yeah, sure.
with episode 12, which is 2 weeks ago actually, but because there's a bit of time between uploading and, recording, that you have comments popping up, a bit out of sync. So that's alright. So, there have been 3 new comments actually, so I thought that would be nice. Well, 4, but one of them is from Niels. Okay.
This doesn't matter.
I guess I'll try to go over them myself, because as far as the other stuff goes this week, I probably don't have much of an opinion. So, Dr. Sploosh starts with, first of all, I know a little bit of JavaScript. Wouldn't say I'm good at it though, because we asked about it, or I think Niels did. And second one, I don't know, and I think that's referring to the quote. Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
it is.
And then you say it's happy Wout, and no, Dr. Sploosh, I am not happy. Sorry, but you still need to do the quote. The quotes aren't even that hard. This week I should probably come up
No,
with
this
a
week we're
really
not
easy
doing a
one.
quote.
Okay.
Are we?
Yes, I can
We'll
come up
see
with
about
something.
it.
It'll
We'll
be
see about
easy.
it.
Okay.
Next one.
Okay. So yeah, then yeah.
By the way, on that script, I started doing some stuff with the script, and I got some basic functions working, and I think I know how to do it now.
Yay! You also
Yay.
this.
GG.
Talks working.
Yay!
Oh well. Moving on. Ultimate Redstone also responded that he has. It was super fun to be on the podcast, guys. Thanks for the shout out and all the kind words. Well, enjoyed having you.
Yeah.
We hope maybe you can join again at some point.
Yeah, maybe
No.
talk at some point as well. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be really nice. But oh well. For now, I guess it's gonna have to go through text, and which of course would in no way be like biased or anything. Okay. So then Astro Girl 1 USA responds, I followed Ultimate Redstone here and I subscribe too. Also, I intend to watch some past episodes when I get time. I'm getting a good vibe here. And Niels responds, nice to hear. Because
Sweet.
Niels is way too nice. And I'm wondering if that was actually a pun, like a vibe. Oh well. don't think
Put
she
it
knows
in
vibes, so-
quotes, so I would say probably.
I don't, maybe, but like I know her for a bit from the Zip Crowd community, but I don't know if she knows vibes. So, well,
Yeah, I would guess so because she's in a lot of the streams for a long time now.
oh, okay then. Yeah, that's probably fun then. Well, so yeah, it's really nice to have all these new viewers lately. So yeah, thanks Ultimate Redstone, Astro, Dr. Sploosh for telling your friend last week. And yeah, so that's mainly what I wanted to cover from last week. 2 weeks ago, then going to last week, lifting bald eagles off their floor, which one Niels is not capitalized every word. Hint, hint. And yes, it's changed very subtly along with the description.
I still think the title is horrible.
And secondly, shifting bald eagle off their floor, not floors. You can't say that bald eagles are spread across different floors. That sounds
I
weird.
thought I had it. It was it.
I mentioned it.
I
it's-
saw that
even
comment. I saw the S is capitalized, and I saw and I then looked at the title. Oh, it's without an S. Oh, he probably means I need to do it with an S. I changed
No,
it to an
no, the other way around. That's why I commented.
S.
Oh no, well, I didn't fix it. I adjusted it to my own ideal view because I'm a narcissist like that.
We know.
Alright, thanks, Dark. Then, lastly, I guess I'll also do this comment because it's directed at me. Because Yewe says, I think you can't get ghost dirt in the savannah, but in the mesa. I'm pretty sure you can in the mesa. I can definitely there are these patches of on the plateaus, you can sometimes find these patches with trees and grass and coarse dirt and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but he says you can get in the mesa, but not in the savannah.
Yeah, so that's where I disagree with him because, you know what? If he gives me, okay, I'm just gonna go on
Also,
Reflex and
look
take
it
a
up.
screenshot. Yeah, so
Am I looking up?
just because I don't want to mess this up, I'm gonna go on Reflex. If in a minute or something I should be there, and then I can prove him wrong. Mwahaha.
Or you can just look up a picture on Google Savannah.
But I'm bored
Yeah.
and I want to act like Reflex is still active.
Oh.
Oh well.
I look up a picture and I don't see coarse dirt, so I don't think there's coarse dirt in a savannah.
Well, that's why I'm going there to prove you wrong. I'll
You could
prove.
just Soccer could just check in the code if it's possible for it to generate there, and if it's not, then you
Soccer.
know the answer. But
You're the code guy.
I'm currently looking.
Oh, Soccer, you're not being quick enough.
I
Come
think
on.
it
What-
maybe
what
could
biome?
be possible.
Savannah.
Savannah is the biome we're looking for.
What if a savannah and a mesa are right next to each other, and a patch of coarse dirt spawns in a mesa, but
Yes,
it
can
overlaps to the savannah, and then you can find coarse dirt in
Yes, but
savannah.
it's not in a mesa. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
It's in a mesa.
it's possible to happen. It's now you
okay,
mentioned.
I
Because like you can have the desert temples that are in,
Okay, I'm
in,
at
in a
Savannah.
swamp as well. So
But one thing I may have to mention is that I'm pretty sure it only spawns in Savannah Hills. Like, I'm currently in this extreme hill savannah, like really steep mountains and stuff with lots of sand and trees and that kind of stuff.
You
So-
can get coarse dirt in the savannah.
And
Alright.
you know what? Because I'm already over here, I'll just quickly grab a picture if I can find some. Oh,
I'll
yep,
put
I
a
found it.
Piazza up for you.
Okay, let me just get a good view.
It didn't take anywhere near as long as I expect. I thought I'd have to go down a rabbit hole. But nope, it was right on top.
Okay, I also got a nice picture actually. So,
That's
did
good.
you get a picture of the code then, or?
Oh yeah, I put a Giazzo in.
Oh,
in
okay.
TeamSpeak.
So it can also spot. Does it say anything about hills, or was that just me?
Hmm?
Because to me it looked like it may just only spawn in hills, but it was also just an assumption. I'm not sure.
It
Like, you
doesn't
know-
look like it's just hills. It's whenever the biomes meet.
Oh,
I
okay
don't
then.
quite know what that means, but yeah.
Oh,
But it is
well,
confirmed Savannah's
yeah, I also got a picture, and we'll make sure to link it in the show notes. So let's quickly. Let me quickly put it in here. Soccer code.
It's good.
Alright, let's move on, because I don't want to miss too much time in the show
Yeah.
notes. Niels, do you have anything to say about other stuff?
Other stuff. Editorial stuff or follow up?
I don't know.
Um,
Follow-up is kind of done, isn't it?
I
That
think
went
we're
quick.
done.
Alright.
I don't. Nah. Now
Like,
let's move on.
kinda. Well, I guess we can talk about my great comment from last week, but that didn't mean much. Okay, let's move on.
You know it's good in Minecraft and
No? Why the hell are we talking about milk?
because I'm drinking milk.
Oh, that makes sense. No, it doesn't.
Nah,
Soccer said it. It obviously makes
I love
sense.
milk. Yeah, what
sure.
are you talking about?
I know. I just don't like milk
Fight
that
about
much.
it?
Okay, so what we were saying is that we're going to move on to the news. So, what's the news this week? Because I don't watch it that much.
Okay,
In
wait.
chronological order? Or?
No, I have. Where is it? I have some tweets from Dinnerbone from beginning of the week / last weekend, which was after we
I got a reply
recorded
from
the last week's episode, and one of them was the usage of Java 8, which is about 60% now, which is good.
Well, why exactly? Like, does it have that much many optimizations?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't matter
Um,
that much. If the people themselves can run the game fine, then is there really an issue for them? I mean,
Then he
Right.
also posted a graph where it shows the uses of different operating systems. Really
some
high up
stats.
with over 50% is Windows 7, and then there's like Windows 8.1, Windows XP, Windows 8.
Yeah.
People
Macros
still
X.
use XP.
Hey, and
Yeah,
Paul,
because-
Yeah,
you're...
like 11% apparently. But the
Oh,
interesting thing is that more people use Mac OS X than Vista.
Well, it makes sense because
And-
Vista was like, if like
Yeah.
Vista 8, those are like they called the even numbers, and they are was less popular, and Vista is also a bit older than 8, so yeah,
Has
Yeah,
anyone
this-
tried?
That's why Windows is skipping Windows 9.
because they want
Yeah.
to change the flow, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vista is
Change
only
it.
2%, and Linux is 1%.
Aw, poor
Has
Wild
anyone
Boar.
tried Windows 10? Like, is it worth it?
Oh, you
I
mean
haven't
like the
tried it
No,
yet.
but
demo
if you have
thing?
Windows 7
Oh,
or
no.
Windows 8, Windows 10 will be free.
what the fuck?
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I heard that somewhere.
I think
I
like
can look
the
it up.
maker edition thing for
What?
Pi,
What, Niels?
You can look it up for the show notes. Windows 10
what?
is Windows 10. That's free for Windows 7 and Windows 8 users. I saw that somewhere.
Speaking
Oh.
of tweets from dinner, I tweeted him about the snooper stats. I asked if he'd ever make them public, and he said yes, they are working on making the snooper stats, so we'll be able to see all the operating system stuff divvied up by ourselves.
Alright.
Also, this week Dinnerbone released a GIF of how it would look like with captions in Minecraft on, and yeah, that's like kind of a follow-up from what we talked about last week, where he announced that. I kind of like imagined it a bit differently. Like what it is, it's like kind of just an overlay where for the chicken, it's like below the chicken a bit. I kind of would have thought it would be like somewhere where the item text for the item you're holding is displayed like in the middle somewhere there, but apparently it's not, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
That could be kind of OP for like, so you could tell where the
I mean, if you listen real closely, you could already do that. Like, if you have a
Yeah,
decent
technically,
headset and listen close enough.
Well, let's say you're walking around and you wouldn't be able to hear the person. Maybe they'd be walking. That little thing would pop up, and you'd be like, "Oh crap, there's somebody near me."
Well, yeah, but for someone like me, you play at full blast usually. If you're in a PvP thing.
Well, if you're like streaming or something, or if you're talking, like commentating on what, that
Oh,
can
yeah.
make it really hard to see or hear.
Yeah, because you
even if
could
do have it full
you could
blast.
see out your ears. But yeah, I mean, I see the different aspects of it, but you know, for the general purpose of it, you know what I'm saying.
I guess it could be helpful for PvP as well. Yes.
And for the hearing impaired, it'd be night and day difference.
And otherwise, with resource packs, you can change it and you can do cool stuff with it. Maybe.
Alright. I guess we can talk about, I don't know, something else, like video maybe.
Or to what?
Who wants to
Video?
go first?
Who wants to go first and die in the public scrutiny or something?
Anyone want to talk about Spider's new tree farm?
Sure.
Definitely not me, because I don't do much survival.
What's up with the new tree farm enemy?
Spider's new tree farm is for all the 1x1 trees, and it also does acacia, which is really cool.
Is this the first acacia tree farm, or has there been more in the past?
No, there's been more tree farms that do acacia, but most of them were like not for like every single type of tree, but like this one is for acacia, and then there's one that do everything but acacia. And this one does everything, and it does it really well. And it's also not that big actually. Some really nice features are that it allows for up to 9 high trees, which is really good because then you get a higher output compared to some others which are not like the previous design, for example, didn't allow for 9 high trees. And the thing about the acacia trees, it just triggers the system twice to get like all this additional logs that are on the same Y layers also out of the system, so it doesn't break. I think like his version 2 also worked with acacia trees, but it wouldn't probably harvest them or something, and it could break after a long time or something. Also, what's really cool, he has this quadruple slime block extender for the oak trees, so so it doesn't do branches, which is kind of cool. Haven't seen that done before, but yeah. Apart from that, I have nothing really more to say about it. Like I haven't used it or anything.
Okay. Maybe we could talk about. Well, I haven't followed the news that much this week, so I guess I'll just talk about the XP thing because I watched that and then just shut up basically. So yeah, I guess some people in here may have seen Wooby's new video.
I've seen it.
I haven't yet.
So yeah, in Minecraft, there's well an XP mechanic, as probably most viewers know.
Oh.
What?
That.
Are you serious?
How?
No, I'm not serious. What you're thinking?
How does that work?
Well, this is a truthful podcast. We don't tell lies in here.
Sorry. So yeah, there isn't an XP mechanic, and Bobby's video is about how, if there was one, you could basically manipulate it to display a specific, well, value really. Okay. Actually, let me put that thing there for a second. Wooby's imaginary XP thing. Also, Niels, can you like check the ball every once in a while if you can think of if you missed anything or something? Because yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright. So yeah, basically, map makers have been trying to use that for a while. I think like just think of one specific example. Mr. Makistan Snakes used the thing. I'm sure there are also many others who use it, but I just don't think I can think of right now. Yeah, so let me quickly do that.
I've seen something else, something like that. I can't really remember it, but it was something you would get level. Now, yeah, it basically works on the same way, but not as universal because it was with older Redstone. You would get level 90 something, and then it would do the XP orbs, get the percentage on your XP bar, and then it would do minus 90 again. It's not something new what he did, but it's in a universal way where you can just put it in and you can just run it easily and implement it with other stuff. So try to find this other video.
Yeah, I'll just put the notes. I hope we can find it. So yeah, basically what Wooby's video features is a way to have a bit more of a consistent way to really mess with XP, because the problem with it is that there's like XP is basically there seems to be like as an integer value you can add to the experience, which you can do with using the normal XP command, and then yes, you can also add or subtract levels, which are also of course integers. And there's also a third variable which seems to be stored internally, which is basically how much the bar is filled up. And once it reaches 100%, it goes across 100%, I guess it goes back to 0 for next level. So yeah, that seems to be how the XP mechanics work. However, you may also have noticed that on the low level, XP translates to less, let's say this less, less bar growth or something, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a problem, of course, for map makers, because basically on level 0 you would have you can get up to the next level with like 4 XP or something, which means you don't have much control over how far the bar is filled up. And some map makers use this. I wanted to use this to indicate some kind of thing, like mana or something, or some kind of energy level or stamina or whatever, because it's
Your
bar that fills
level.
up. Yeah.
What level of the game you are.
Yes, possibly as well.
And
But
earlier, XP bar was also used for as a scoreboard because you didn't have any other scoreboards.
Yeah, you could use this like a progress buff or something or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was stuff, and if you were player 1, you would get a 1 in there, and that's the only way of defining
but
that you are player 1.
Yeah, no, but you're talking about level, not the bar
Yeah.
itself.
Well, I
Yeah.
know. When I watched the video, it made me think of a new thing that we could put in that we're working on. So, either way, I mean, it helps the map making community.
Yes, I would. Well, it's mostly a way to implement the GUI, really. Like with scoreboards, you can do way more than with XP, I would say. So it's more about getting, basically communicating with the user. Like you can communicate through ads in the hotbar, I would say, maybe like through title screens or something. And what else do you have in the interface? Like you have health, hunger, armor.
You could do the fancy resource pack graphics where you have a different texture for the item you're holding.
Yeah, so technically
The
that's
pop-up
also something to do.
graphics we talked about like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yes, but then you would need a I mean, it's definitely possible. I guess you could have
Yeah,
like,
like it's just another way, but it's like not a really good way because you need a resource pack and so on.
also it's probably hard to control if you like want to display a custom value on there. Like if you want to,
you would have to have a texture for every value you have everything you want to display. So
But having the resource pack, that it's not making the resource pack, okay, but it's nowadays you can put the resource pack into the server or into the world, so
yes, but it
you
would still be
automatically
harder
get
for
it.
the wiring. I mean, say you have
Yeah.
you have a resource pack which basically has this bar of its own, which can be filled up to 100 stages or something, right? 100 percentages. That would still be really hard to control because basically, well, one way to control it would be saying, oh, if the score is 1, put the first one there, it scores 2, put the second one there, and so on. But then you need 100 command blocks.
Yeah, I
Whereas with the XP bar,
yeah,
you
and
could
you
do
also you not only need 100 command blocks, but you need 100 different items or like different metadatas for your item. I guess
Before
with
we-
potions that would be easier, but I don't think you can do.
Actually, items can have infinite, oh well, not infinite, but a lot of metadata, I think. So that's not an issue, but it would. I mean, just even if you get the resource packs done, it would be hard.
Yeah,
on
it would be
Redstone.
way too much work, like to.
Whereas with like XP bar, you can do that algorithmically, basically. So let me just explain. Like, if you have 100, you basically use, you say, okay, is it larger than 64? Then we're gonna do 64 to it. If it's still larger than 32, do 62. Add 60. Add 32 to it. If it's still larger than 16, add 16 to it, and so forth. And yeah, basically that way you can do really big numbers in not too many iterations. Like if you want to add 1,000,000 or something, that would only take 6 iterations. No, not 6. 20 iterations.
With you were saying it will cost 100 command blocks because you need to do it for every possible combination. A long time ago, before we had the scoreboards, yeah, we did have scoreboards, but we didn't have the operations. And I wanted
Yeah,
to
sir.
calculate. I had a countdown from 10 minutes, and then I wanted to calculate how much time has passed. So if you would have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, how many minutes and how many seconds have passed? And I had to do every single command block for every. If you had so many minutes, then it
You
would.
could have used the binary algorithm, I think.
Yeah, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
It
not
was
gonna,
so many command blocks.
like, I don't know is there a name for it. Maybe people should. I'll put it in show notes. Maybe I'll look it up. Binary thing algorithm. Yeah. So, but it's definitely inspired by binary cuts, which you may know or not know. The first order from a video by Ruby, but now I've also heard about it, but courses. So, yeah. I guess I won't go in full detail explaining binary codes, but that's what it's kind of inspired from. Oh, well, anyone still has something to say about Ruby's video?
Not me.
I haven't watched it. Yeah.
I haven't watched the entire one yet.
Not life, you guys are boring. Not just kidding.
I don't know if you did this last week or not. Did you talk about the command block maximum per chunk? Like the
No,
not the
that's
command
actually
block.
this week.
Yes, actually, we should definitely talk about that.
That's what's next up in the list.
Okay, let's put it on the list. Note.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
basically,
enemy, you talk or
Oh.
or no talk. You know what, you guys.
so basically, it's like when you're like clocking a block. If it is it 63 or 64?
I think 63.
63.
If you
Once
have
you-
62, you're completely fine. But once you hit 63,
No,
And-
you're
No,
still
I
fine
think-
with 63.
Yeah. I
okay,
think,
yes, if you have 63, you're fine. But once you hit 64, then it creates crazy lag in the world. Yeah, in the world,
well,
and then
crazy.
yeah.
It's I still deal with it, but I did. I think the guy who showed it lost like 40% of something of his FPS,
Well,
so it's
I
definitely
rec-
noticeable.
yeah.
Yeah, the
I
video was
recre-
by Samosaurus6. He's the guy who also made Planetary Confinement, which we talked about on previous episodes. And yeah, basically what happens is if you have 63 blocks that you have like are either the fill clock or are attached to the fill clock in one chunk, and you add a 64th one, then like it starts with crazy lag spikes and so on.
Well, the thing is that what it's based on, I would think, is Redstone updates or chunk updates, something along those lines. So you shouldn't just take in account your command blocks, but also like other stuff. I mean, maybe everything's running fine at 63, but once you put one redstone clock there, everything can exceed the limits, and yeah, you can still have the same effects, although you're not using more command blocks or more full clocks or anything. I would
Yeah,
think at
it's-
least. I haven't tested that, but it would seem logical to me.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense that it just
Yeah.
like after 63 blocks you're done or something.
I read a comment which says it's also a thing in other games, but that sounds a bit weird because how would you apply thing with redstone updates and chunks and that kind of stuff to other games? Well,
Yeah.
but yeah, so
Well-
I don't think any of us really understand the mechanics behind it.
my thing is like, would that be something they intentionally put in, or is that just a bug?
Nah,
No,
it's
It's
just a bug.
probably a bug.
64
You
definitely
never
seems like a
limit your game
value
if you
which
can
would be
help it.
better. Oh yeah, Sokka, maybe you know a reason.
Look it
What
up in
a
the
problem.
code.
I'm looking into it right now, but if I had to guess what's causing that, would be the fact that you write jam every time. If you're writing more than, if I had to guess, that's probably pretty intensive on your RAM. Would make it worse, less like usable space for your.
Well, yeah, but even for like
that would just be my guess.
from smaller computers to bigger computers, no matter how much RAM you have allowed to Minecraft, it does the same effect.
Yeah, like
It's not
in
about how much RAM's allowed. It's about how much like you're actually moving data in and out. You'd have to be moving a lot of data in and out if you're going to be assigning things 20 times per second to the RAM. But that's just my guess.
Yeah, but then again, wouldn't that mean there would also be like a major limit you would notice at like 127, 128, or 31, 32? I mean, it definitely has something to do with the binary. Well, with the number 60. I mean, it's true that the 6 has no coincidence, but I would think it's probably not with every power of 2, because then people would notice, no?
Mhm.
No, maybe actually you're right. You could be right. Maybe it's just not noticeable enough when you get to 32, and most people don't go to 128.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess most people notice it at 32.
Well, in the
This-
video you can see the frame graph in the bottom left, which is new in 1.8.3, I think.
No, that has been in
yeah.
the game long time, but then it was removed, and now it's if you do Alt F3 or something like that,
Yeah,
or Shift L F3.
Alt.
The Shift, then you get the pie chart, and with Alt, then you get that graph.
Yeah, like if you look at the graph, like with 63 clocking blocks, it's totally fine, and when you place 64th one, it just goes crazy.
Do you also see a big difference between 31 and 32 then?
No, like it's completely standard normal. Like everything's like same level.
You don't
Right.
notice anything until you place the 34th
64th block, yeah.
I meant 60. Yeah, I heard 30. 64th. I heard 30 and that threw me off. But yeah, like I said, you don't notice anything until that moment.
Yeah, like it's just a bug. Even you build something with command blocks that's a bit bigger, you just have to watch out for. Like you can just move it to like in between chunks where you just use 2 chunks and you have like a bigger limit. So it shouldn't be that big of a problem. You can have easy workarounds for that. It's just something you have to be aware of for the time
Is it
now.
only on the? Is also for the chunk segments that it has a separate count,
I
or
have no clue. I haven't tested different segments. Haven't tested anything at all, basically.
Well, enemy,
I
get
just
on your
watched the
game,
video.
man.
Well, I have more stuff to do, and yeah, like I play more survival, so. Bold, why are you not on your game?
Why?
I know.
What? I'm just looking at stuff.
Yeah, like that's just something you have to watch out for. I guess another thing we can talk about is something really interesting that Cube Hamster showed this week, which is his video is called Tactical Nuke, which is basically a flying machine that can move. Sorry, can move a rail in a really simple way, which was shown by one of the stream viewers. And the way is basically you have a sticky piston that pushes a slime block with the rail on top, and then you supercharge the sticky piston with another piston. So you update it another time in the same tick because of the piston on top, and then the rail somehow doesn't break for some reason. It's really cool. And yeah, it's just the mechanic behind it. I have no clue why it works and why it works with a sticky piston and not the other way around.
Some things just aren't meant to understand.
Yeah, it's just like a really cool mechanic you should know of when you build like stuff with Slimestone. Of course, we will have the video in the description. Just trying to find it again so I can actually tell you who the guy was who found it out and showed Cube Hamster because I
It
was.
is Samosaurus.
No, it was for the clocking block thing. God damn it, sucker.
Not bad.
yeah.
Dang. Rude.
Oh, rude.
Sandstorm.
Thanks, Dark. I'm trying to keep track of the notes, but I guess someone should read them afterwards. Make sure we don't miss anything.
Okay, the person who found it out was GMC_NXT man. So
EMC underscore what?
NXT man, yeah, like that's his Twitch name.
Okay.
Yeah, like basically Cube Hamster was streaming earlier this week, and he showed it during the stream, and from that Cube made a video where he showed that as in the form of a missile. But yeah, back to other stuff.
Is there any more
Okay, then.
news?
Yeah, I have some more news.
Okay.
Young TW released
yes.
quasi 4-way flying machine. It's a flying machine with lots of other pistons in front of it, and he has a massive machine. And if the flying machine flies into that machine, it will turn the flying machine to the right, and it can, if you want to go to left or back, then it will just turn it around 2 or 3 times. Yeah, it's quite complicated how it works. It's pushing all the pistons and basically reconstructing the flying machine to work in the other direction with the pistons it got from piston storage it got at the front. It has at the front. And yeah, what do you guys think of it?
I thought it was pretty cool when I saw it. Thought that all like, I don't do like that big of piston work, so every time I see something like that, it amazes me.
Yeah, now it's only it's really simple flying machine, so you cannot really do anything else with it and just let it fly. But yeah, maybe in the future.
Can you actually
Or
ride the flying
improvements
machine through it?
What can you do?
Ride the flying machine through it.
If you put a boat on top, maybe, or walk on it, I think. Yeah, in those corners there are lots of business, so I think you will get knocked off. Maybe you can
Yeah,
jump off and then wait
would be
until
quite
it
hard
turns
to
and
have
then
both navigate the machine, probably.
yeah. Yeah, but if you're just standing on it and you just before the turn you jump off, but you will be in a little waiting area, and then when it has turned, you will jump onto the flying machine again. Then you can ride it. Yeah, not ideal. He also made us a system in it so you can change the direction of where it should go. Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah, I guess we can move on then.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, we will link that down below in the show notes. Now for the rest. Still anyone has notes?
I found something on Reddit earlier today. And it's basically as far as I know, possibly the best single cell ever. This guy called Nasmus, or Nasmus, I'm not sure, created a design for single cell, which is 0.6% better than Shell's single cell design, like the one Doc made the video about like 2-3 years ago. And it's actually a lot easier to build, so...
One of
if
the
you
only
ever-
iron farms that still work from 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, because it's like
It's
based on
one-time
the
setup and that's it.
Yeah.
No,
mean, it's
well,
basically
the
like-
others they also still work if you update and it doesn't break so far.
Well, I mean, like,
I think
Yeah,
ba-
pretty
saying
much.
that iron farm still works is like saying that a wheat farm with a water harvesting system still correctly harvests. Like, yeah, because that's how water works. I mean, they always wanted to still have villages spawn iron golems, so
Yeah.
I mean, if that thing
Uh,
didn't spawn iron golems, then they would really drastically change the door mechanics.
Not only that he did a 0.6% better single cell than the old design.
0.6. Whoa, hype.
Yeah, but like also he explains the village mechanics and how stuff spawns really good, and he actually modded the game so golem spawn instantly to visualize his point better. So I guess if you want to build a single cell because you're, I don't know, starting a new map or something, I would recommend this one because it's easy to build and 0.6% more efficient than the other one.
How much more iron would you get an hour?
Possibly 0.6% more.
You would get about 10 golems an hour. Times 5.
like I don't know, like a fifth of an ingot, whatever.
Okay, we will get 50 ingots an hour, and otherwise, you would get maybe 1 ingot more an hour.
Well, I guess that's like you wouldn't notice because of the random
Yeah.
tokens, but it's a good design, and he actually has a really good explanation for the stuff he's talking about. So
And if you're running it for longer times, if you're on a server, then if you're running it 24/7, it means 24 hours, so it will add up eventually.
actually, what's interesting, he calculates design and he compares his design to GL like / DocM design and to Nim's TV design. And Nim's design is only like 65% efficient, and like the gel design is like 97 point something, and his is 98 point something.
And what
So-
if you would do his design with the redstone block trapdoor? Would you get 99 or 100 or?
Possibly, but I think for a single cell it's not worth it.
Yeah, that's
So
it's in the beginning and you don't
Yeah,
have a lot of
like-
redstone.
of course, if you want iron, you would go for a big one. But if you're like just starting out, or for some reason you're on a server you cannot build high efficiency iron farms, then
You don't have access to the spawn chunks. Or...
well you can build the buildable ones outside of spawn chunks.
Yeah,
so that's
but
not a problem. But
You would have to
if
wait
you're
an
like not
hour
allowed to
and
build
then
those or whatever,
you can get some iron. That maybe
like
it's more. It's easier to just make than no single cells.
yeah, it's a good thing. So you can check it out. Yeah. Next thing.
Myren's Quarry video.
do we have anything else yet, or can we do that now?
I think I don't think we have anything else.
Well, there's one video, I guess, which is again very important to mention. Actually, no, there's two videos I would still like to mention.
Okay.
First of all, well, see, the first one is something I probably shouldn't talk about because I'm not much of an expert in the terrain anymore, which ironically is Quarry. Well, I was never really an expert, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so Redstone just made another Quarry video, and
Oh,
I
we're
watched
gonna
it for a
talk
bit.
about it after the Quarry video from Myren.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
I guess we
because
can do that.
Chronological order.
Yeah, okay. So in
What
that
does
case, that's
logical
still
mean?
chronological, just like things which happen first. So first,
I know.
Okay,
Oh,
so I guess we're talking about Quarry video then.
I'm disappointed. Oh well.
I'm sorry.
Well, then there's still one video I have to mention because it's very important. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So as Niels agreed, it's a very important video, and I should go ahead and talk about Sand Derp and Sand Derp Explained by Sankarn. So,
I
yeah.
only saw the sand derp, I didn't saw the explanation.
Okay, why is this important? I want to hear this.
Because it's showing that Sankarn also derps sometimes, and it shows that
Derps
all of
what?
us have our inner derps, even when we do Redstone, and
Wait.
even when we're geniuses, we still derp.
Sandcorn derps?
A
Yes,
lot.
just watch
Like,
the
you
video.
wouldn't believe it.
He walks left and right during the whole video, and yeah, he has a video in which he explains it, which is really just showing that he used a green screen, the slime block machine pushing him left and right to make his body move. Then he painted himself onto a landscape, and I have to admit, it looks pretty realistic. I actually didn't notice that. However, I thought he just did it using command blocks. I'm pretty sure you can set the pose of the player, or well, you can at least set the rotation, right? So, but actually that's a hat, so maybe not. Oh well, would be interesting to look into. But yeah, so that's really that. So I guess it's time for quarries now. Enemy.
Okay, just real quick thing before Minecraft won a BAFTA this week, so if anybody cares about that.
I don't care.
Okay, good. Okay, Slime Block Roy. Ironically enough, we never really talked about quarries that much, even though it's like in our name.
No.
But yeah,
Isn't this the waffle factory then?
basically, Myren released a video showing off 3D Quarry, and basically what he does is he has a wall eater that walls like the first mines the first wall, and then stops, and the second wall eater takes the blocks from there, basically as a conveyor belt, and moves it to a collection system where then all the blocks get pushed into a single location, like horizontally. No, vertically, they go upwards to a wither cage, basically, but yeah. And that's basically a functioning 3D quarry. The only problem is there's no control system for it yet, so it doesn't work on its own. It's not automated, but it would function this way. And the really interesting thing about this video is he did a lot of quarry theory, and basically the more important parts about it is you have the coordinate fixation, what is what he calls it, where you move a block to a fixed x-axis, y-axis or z-axis, and from there go fixate another axis and another axis, to where you in the end you have like only one spot, like a fixed spot where your block is, which is basically the way you move like the block from anywhere inside your quarry to your wither cage. And in his design, the first dimension would be the wall eater, which would take the block from the wall and fixate the x-axis, I think. And the second one would be the second wall eater, which acts as a conveyor belt, which would fixate the z-axis. And then his block collector, which is like his vertical flying machine, which would fixate the y-axis. And then you have your block at your wither cage, which is basically what you want. And basically the rest of it are problems that you run into when building a quarry. And the biggest problem so far is the control system. And basically, problems with that is you have to figure out where to send your flying machine and determine when a plane is done. And he talks about basically possibilities for instruction delivery system to, for example, say move to next plane, or you have to you have to fly to this way to drop off your blocks or whatever. And one way to do that would be redstone. Like you have redstone all around your quarry, which would be very expensive but fast. You could do it with flying machines, of course, which I guess would be the easiest way, and it would make most sense. Which would be, of course, slower but cheaper. And then he had another solution, which is wireless redstone, which I find really cool because it's really fancy way, and it could actually work. Like with the different hitboxes, you could use stairs and push them around easily, and control stuff with that. So maybe a wireless redstone flying machine kind of thing, hopefully, would be really fancy. You guys, any
Really
thoughts about that?
I thought the wireless redstone, this would really be something that you need wireless redstone, and those other things it was wireless redstone. Yeah, I don't want this line over here. Yeah.
Yeah, wireless redstone is a really, really cool, cool option that I wouldn't have thought of. Another problem with the Quarry is the processing. Basically, how you turn your block into an item form, and you have first the possibility of a stationary wither cage, of course. Then you take all the blocks out in your Quarry and move it to your stationary wither cage, which is what he did in his design, which he showed off in the beginning of the video. Then you have the possibility of movable wither cages, and you could do wither cages that move in all directions, 6-directional or 5-directional, which is horribly hard to do. And you would run into a lot of problems with that. Two-dimensional 3 or 4-way wither cage, which is also really hard. Then he has the idea of if you have you could do one plane and one direction. So basically you have a wall of wither cages and then move them in one direction, which could also work. In that case, you could just like push them through your entire block you want to mine, which would be also really funny. But probably really hard to do, and you would be dealing with a lot of withers. So, and also if you would do that, you would get rid of the Y fixation, because you can just like let everything fall down. You don't have to fixate the Y-axis, which is a way to make your query faster, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Really good perk. Then another problem with the query is the unmovable blocks, which we talked about before. Like, of course, you can. We talked about the removal of the blocks, but then you need a block detection system, which he talked about as well. But you could do it with wither skulls. Then he has other fancy ways of avoiding that, which are really, really cool. Like what I personally haven't thought of at all is like a nether quarry, where you have less blocks you cannot move, because you only get like chests and spawners and fortresses. I guess it's easier to avoid.
Yeah, then you cannot make a perimeter for a witcher. It can only be for
like that's
for a below bedrock gold farm or a viper.
Yeah, that's like the nether quarry is some interesting idea. I never thought of nether quarry. I don't know why, but I never did. Then to the overworld approaches, which are really cool. The unpopulated chunk method, where you put your whole quarry in unpopulated chunks. And you just have it there, so you don't actually have blocks like unmovable blocks. They haven't generated yet. The chunks aren't populated, and the blocks are just not there yet. And you could avoid the problem with that. The other problems with that is you don't have ores at all.
Yeah, who cares about the ores? If you want the ore, if you would feed everything into a wither, then you would get the diamond
at
as
this
a
point,
gem.
you have to ask yourself the question: why do you want to create? Do you want to make a perimeter, or do you want blocks? right? And if you would want them for the blocks and the ores, then this wouldn't be the way, because then you of course you wouldn't get the ores. But like not only the ores do not generate, but also you don't have obsidian yet or spawners. So that way you could avoid that, and that could work. Or that will work if you get it to work.
There's one thing though.
It will work if you get it to work. Good
Yeah, you
explanation.
have
enemy.
to make sure to test it well, because lava, of course, flows pretty fast in Nether, and it may update business. You don't want to be updated at bad timing, so we
Yeah,
have to do
no,
a fair bit of testing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
actually.
didn't the other day I saw from Cube Hamster a video about underwater
the
flying
torpedo.
Yes, a
machine.
torpedo, right?
So,
Yeah.
yeah. If it works on the water, I think it also works below
Yeah,
underwater.
but like
lava.
that's for that specific flying machine.
Yeah.
If you have
Yeah.
it, probably you could run
Quarries
into
are pretty
problems.
complex, probably. So
Yeah. Then there's also a really insane idea of when you're in unpopular things anyway, you could just like put blocks there, and in that way prevent spawner generation, or possibly prevent lake generation, and then you don't have to worry about unmovable blocks or water that would could generate cobblestone, or lava and water could generate cobblestone or obsidian. And then you have like your perfect quarry setup where you don't have to worry about blocks you cannot move. Yeah, all these things. In the end, you still probably would want to have an unmovable block detection system, which so far never. I don't know of anyone who worked on that. Anyone knows someone?
But
I don't
No.
think
one
anyone
problem
worked on
with
that yet.
that, how would you specify where that unmovable block is?
Yeah,
Do you
that's
have
the whole
multiple
problem.
flying machines go
that's-
there, and then
That's the whole problem.
in
No
the
one thought
time,
of how a good way to do that yet.
yeah, if there's 5 seconds between the arrival of the first one and the second one, it should be about so many blocks away.
The thing is, I had an idea for that, which I like. It's not thought through. Which if you have like your whole plane in mind, or you think you have it in mind, you could try just dropping down gravel, and see if, and catch the gravel below, and see if it comes all the way down, and if it doesn't, you have to try that pillar again, and see there.
And that you do that right at the end of the mining.
At
Or
the
when
end
do
of
you
your
do it?
plane, I guess, yeah. He talks about having unmovable block detection built in your wall eater, for example, so you would instantly notice. But I can't think of a way how you could realize that. There probably is somehow, some way, but yeah, since no one worked on it yet, we don't know it yet, so
I think the gravel could work, maybe.
yeah, like gravel, you have to have the you get rid of one axis you have to worry about, which would be the y-axis, because it falls down. So if it falls all the way down, you can sure okay, in this pillar there's nothing, and if it doesn't, you know okay, like this pillar there is something, and in theory you could then just like shoot your villa skulls like straight down, and if it like you have some control in the bottom of which like, oh, my control block is destroyed, that updates my flying machine and tells me, okay, my block is gone, and I can try again with another gravel piece.
Detection also has to move, and
Yeah, like of course, but I have no clue how to build it. It's just like an idea. Maybe when when people who work on Quarry stuff listen to that, might have more ideas.
Myren.
hint.
There's more stuff though. I watched the video like 2 or 3 times, and I sat down and actually took notes. Like I have to scroll down here because I took so many notes. There's more issues to the quarry. You wouldn't believe. Like next issue would be the unloading problem, which was basically a problem why Chess gave up on the quarries last week. Because if you unload
Spoilers, he didn't.
and use clocks, then your clocks will possibly stop working and break your design. And Myren has a simple fix for that. Don't use clocks. Yeah, basically the reason why Chess had clocks was because like that was for his conveyor belt, which was movable in X or Z direction depending on how you what direction you build it. But the conveyor was actually going upwards or downwards, like Y direction, and that's a not a good idea because then you need clocks, and yeah, so if you want to do a conveyor, it should be movable in the same direction as it conveys stuff. Then you can avoid using clocks. That's what I got from it, but yeah, I could be wrong. um, also, another way of solving that is you never unload your quarry, which in theory possible. If you do it on a server or something, it might run into issues because just like if you load it with players, connection drops or something, or if you load it with Redstone.
But if you load it with 5 players at the same spot, then
Yeah, okay. With redundancy, you can get a bit
And
of
all
fair
5
ruling, but-
players from different PCs. Then.
Yeah, of course, you could like have some safety mechanisms for that. You could try to you could do it with other chunk loading methods, which in theory don't have those problems, but have other problems. You also could make a stoppable quarry. In that case, you need a good control system where it turns off your quarry when it's unloading. But then you actually would that would account for wanted unloading, but for accidental unloading, I don't think that you could account for that. So there's still an issue there. And also, the possible solution for that is Mojang fixes their shit, but
Yeah, I don't think you should rely on that.
like that, and the chance of winning the lottery is like probably easier to win the lottery.
I won the lottery for life.
Also, he had the idea to unload a specific timing, which in that case you also could use clocks if you sync it. So you unload at a timing where it doesn't break your clock. Possibly working. You could also
Basically, controlled unloading.
Yeah, it's also controlled unloading. Yes. You could stop all your clocks before unloading. In theory, possible, but also not accounting for accidental unloading. So yeah, there's a problem there. Then he went into vertical and horizontal quarry approaches, which have both their advantages and disadvantages. I thought about it for a bit as well, and I think the vertical approach would make more sense for survival, because you can build up in the sky and go downwards, and for horizontal you would have to dig a hole first and have way more preparation. Apart from not only building the thing, but you also have to dig a hole for it and so on. In which case you probably could just like dig the quarry for yourself by yourself. So I think the vertical approach would be better for survival, but the problem with the vertical approach is the gravity affected blocks like gravel and sand that they wouldn't be mined properly, and then you also need a block detection system to notice that and so on.
Wouldn't the point of a quarry be to do as least out as digging as possible?
Well, yes, I guess, and also for a technical challenge and for fun.
Yeah, and like you wouldn't want to do any prep digging for a quarry.
No, the preparation for making the quarry should be less than actually the preparation and digging the quarry by hand.
I don't know, maybe
then it's
I don't think that's really
not necessarily.
yeah.
I mean, if you just wanted to have a technical challenge, like, I mean, just take like Banner Survival, right? He does tons of stuff in there, like, oh, we're gonna go wither mining.
Yeah, you
tons
can
of
mine
prep,
easier
it's-
by
yeah.
yourself, of course. But yeah.
But it's just a lot of fun, and I actually kind of
Yeah, like-
so I have those ambitions as well, just doing cool stuff on SMP, which doesn't really add up that much if you do it yourself, but it's still more fun.
Yeah, the wither mining itself is like a small scale quarry by approach, I guess. If you like, make a wall out of withers and use that for mining, then you have the 1D movable wither thing I talked about earlier. Yeah. The problems with the horizontal approach is that if you run into liquids like water and lava, you can get cobble generators and also have blocks there, and then you also need a block detection system, so that's definitely something that you need in your quarry.
Basically, anywhere you go, you will need.
Yeah, basically anywhere you go, you need one. And so far, no one works on that or worked on that or has anything. Or yeah, basically nothing is done on that thing. So if someone wants to do something for Quarry, I guess that would be an interesting place to start. Then also in this video he had some alternative approaches for quarries, which would be a skeleton and creeper thing. Have you guys thought about that? Basically, the idea is that you have a skeleton that gets aggroed on the creeper, and then you move them to where you want to mine, and then you let them see each other, so the creeper will explode and mine some blocks for you.
Good luck getting all those creepers.
Yeah, well, you make a mob farm and a mob. The biggest problem I see with that is to get the aggro right, and then also to get them to where you want them without them despawning.
And about getting creepers, you make a mob farm for creepers, and to make a mob farm for creepers, hey, wait, make a perimeter.
Oh, more digging.
Yeah, so
yeah. Then he had some really great other ideas that are not necessarily quarry related, but go in the kind of same direction, which would be ore generation in unpopulated chunks. You just put blocks in unpopulated chunks and generate some more ores there.
a less GD diamond farm.
Yeah, the thing is you still have to put them at the layer where the actually ores will generate. So I guess you could put blocks up in the sky somewhere, but then you would also only get iron and coal possibly. So not really that useful, I guess. But you also get other stuff. In theory, you can also get other stuff from population, which, for example, trees. So you could make a chunk population tree farm, in theory, which would be interesting, I guess, to say the least. Yeah, and then the last and possibly one of the bigger problems with the quarry is that a lot of people work on quarrytech, but there's no coordinated approach where like everyone pulls on the same rope and goes in one direction. So basically, you would need a lot of organization to, that would make it way easier to get a functional quarry done. Like, I guess you can think of it like flying to the moon. Like, you cannot just have one person and this one person will get everything done from the rocket to the life support and everything else, right? All the calculations
Even
and
the
so on.
exhaustion port?
You would want.
Okay,
you want a lot of people and to have them own all work in their specialized areas and so on. And yeah, like he in his video he showed a bunch of people who worked on the quarry in the past. For example, Redstone and Sang kind of course who had the whole idea. Then there's Redsbonestuff who made the Wall Eater 3-dimensional, and a bunch of other people who came and stopped and possibly are still doing it. And I think we possibly, as the Redstone Quarry, as we already have the name, we could possibly try to get a quarry work group together. So we make that organization possible, I guess. What do you guys think about that?
Nah, doesn't fit our name.
Maybe if you went with the waffle factory then.
No, that would sound
No,
very
I
interesting.
mean, like, all of us have some, I guess, base knowledge about quarries and game mechanics and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know a bunch of people. So I guess we could get, like, everyone who's interested in quarry stuff together. Like, I was thinking of possibly giving, like, a starting help, like where I've just compiled all the videos that I know about slime block stuff and quarry stuff that are interesting and you should watch to
So
get
basically
started with the quarry.
doing notes on all the videos. Show notes on the videos.
Yeah, like basically not necessarily notes, but like if you have a list of all the videos you should watch and so on to get the idea of what is done already and in what direction we want to go.
Sort all of them about this is about that specific.
Yeah, like for example, if you look at the VTOL from Redbonestuff, it's basically a flying machine that lifts off, flies to a specific point, and then lands again and drops its payload, like a bomb in that case. That's something really interesting and possibly could possibly help with the quarry because you have in that case, of course, fixed travel in the three-dimensional space, but it's still travel in a three-dimensional space. And if you look at his flying machine and how he does the moving of in all the dimensions, that's really interesting and could help some people get inspired on how to do their three-dimensional moving for the quarry, the part they are building, for example. So I guess if you just have like a list of stuff that could help you, that would be a huge starting help for people that want to get into quarry stuff but have no clue where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if we have this group together with, for example, Redstone Chess, which some of us know, and Myren, which I guess we kind of know. And of course, he knows us because he listens to us, which we know.
No, he just comments on the random video.
Well, I wouldn't assume he listens to all of the podcasts, then it would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, but
yeah, and like I seen people in his video where like, hey, I would want to help with this, but I have no clue how all this stuff works, but I would really want to help and contribute to this project. So I guess if we just get like this community together where everyone like can communicate with each other and coordinate a bit, I guess we could really get the quarry functional and done in like way faster and so on. So yeah, if you want to learn more about quarry stuff, I will make this list sooner or later. I hopefully done by next week. Depends on work and so on. But yeah, like I think since we have the name, we also have kind of responsibility to
the community.
Yeah, I guess. I've been talking for a long time. What do you guys think?
when it's done, then we can have a special quarry episode.
Okay, then.
Dark, thoughts?
Dark, we're waiting on for you.
Oh, what are we waiting on?
On you.
I'm sorry, I just got back.
Oh, you didn't listen to anything I said? Okay.
Oh, thanks.
Let's do it again.
No, yeah, like I think since we know a lot of those people that are working on stuff, like I know Senkan and Cube a bit and all the other people, like I think Wout or Micro has like chess and Skype and so on. So I guess we could get everyone a bit together and get this organization going. That's something we could do.
We could try, I guess, yeah.
Damn it, microphone is muted.
Okay. Niels, what do you want to talk about?
I want to say lots of silence.
No, you said your mic was muted, so what's wrong? What's wrong?
I want to say silence, but yeah, my microphone is muted, so I could not say that there was silence.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, okay.
That's a very nice contribution to the silence. Yeah, so I guess I don't really have that much more to talk about as it goes for the week. I'm sorry, for the news.
Yeah, like of course after his video a couple of days later, Redstone Chess made another quarrytech video, which you wanted to talk about earlier, and now you can. So don't want to skip over
the problem is that I wasn't fully aware of problems with the quarry, so I guess I won't be able to much of a good opinion on this one. But yeah, it hasn't just released a new video, and it basically has a really fancy machine in it, and that's it.
Okay. Basically, what he did in his video is he made basically a control unit for unloading. So his Myren in his video, he had no automated unloading. Like his conveyor wall eater would travel there, and then he would like manually take the blocks away from the wall eater, and then manually activate the flying machine, which would take them up to his villa killing spot, or where that would be. And Redstone has made an automated system for that. So that's like the automated unloading and block retrieval thing, and that's another part of the Quarry project, I guess.
Now I know something to say about the Redstone Quarry work group. You can make
Okay.
spreadsheets of it. And
Oh no. Don't even start.
I think
Niels.
you're addicted to spreadsheets. I bet.
no.
How often do you do spreadsheets?
I have one opened for the entire time we were recording. But yesterday I didn't do anything to it. And the day before I did.
Yesterday I only made 200 spreadsheets.
No, it's mostly this spreadsheet or one other spreadsheet that I use for testing stuff out with the scripts. Because I didn't want to mess with this one, because if I mess up, then yeah.
You know these don't do math things ad campaigns?
Yeah.
It's like before and after. You should like, there should be like, don't do spreadsheets. And that's like normal person before, and it's afterwards.
Niels.
It's just, yeah, it's like with like the spreadsheets burnt in his eyes. Because he's like and like he's all like organized and has like
Hey guys,
well,
you have a
yes,
project.
can't-
I've got a spreadsheet. I think we should make a meme about for that.
Totally.
let me spreadsheet that for you. Okay. Yeah, like Redstone Chess's thing is basically quote unquote just block retrieval and like unloading system, which is really cool. Yeah, like the Quarry is a big project and it has like all these small parts to it, and this would be another one that's quote unquote done. So
Yeah, still lots of stuff to do.
yeah, that's like I think the control system would be one of the harder things, because it all has to move, of course, and yeah, like you have to get all
No,
the logic
not
in there.
all of the control system. You can have at the edges some redstone lines.
Yeah,
but
not necessarily all of it has to move, but
it has to move partially at least.
yeah,
Some.
and also some like if you want to do the Quarry in unpopulated chunks, you have to. I'm not sure how that would work out with the control system and so on. Because if you have a control system that uses redstone and not slime blocks or slimestone, then you have to go there, of course, and so on. And I'm not sure if the hitbox thing really works if it's if there's no player around and so on. Wireless redstone part.
I would think doing it in unpopulated chunks. Yeah, it would make it easier so that you don't have to deal with chests and stuff. But doing it in unpopulated chunks and setting it up, it will be harder.
Yeah, like if
some
you want
part
to do it in
has to-
unpopulated chunks, you would have to do vertical, I think, right?
How do you mean?
I
But-
don't think you could do the horizontal one, because then you
No,
would
because you have to-
make like your area of unpopulated chunks.
And
like,
next
which
to
would
it,
be
you have to
pretty
dig a
big.
massive hole
And then
so
you have
you can build it. Yeah,
They
that's...
have to dig like at least an L shape around on two sides of your unpopulated chunk region to get your wall eaters in there,
Mhm.
right? So
Or you can make that it goes from the top, and then when it's there, then it goes down, and then...
yeah, like
Yeah.
that's when I thought about that, that's what reminded me of the vertical takeoff and landing thing Redbonestuff did. That's why I mentioned it earlier, because that would be possibly one way or approach to that problem. Like also another idea I had for getting there, like for example in the Cobra, in the slime block Cobra that Spire did a while ago. He also has 2 flying machines, and like for determining when it has to stop, he has a second flying machine that just catches up.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's just kind of the same thing as what I meant for determining the coordinates of the unmovable block. Use something like that.
Yeah, so those
Oh.
are some things. If you like, those are some videos I would put in that list because they have some interesting approaches that could be useful for Quarry stuff, even though it have nothing to do with Quarries really.
Right.
Yeah, Myren, if you have any criticism or like if I totally butchered what you talked about, let us know. Let me know. If you
Send
got
us-
any good ideas,
Just send
let
it
us know as well.
a
And
hitman to us.
yeah, for the work group, if you're interested in that, I guess you are because you came up with the idea of organization. Just get in contact with us, like over Twitter or YouTube or somewhere. I'm really interested in getting this thing, this work group together and so on.
Yeah, also in order to still contribute for a bit to the podcast, because I haven't talked any at all.
You
Hour.
can do the outro then.
Yes, but I also have something else. It's made
Oh.
specially for you, Niels, and
Oh.
I worked
Oh.
very long on it.
Oh.
Here you go. I thought I should try, so yeah. Yeah, we'll also link that in the show notes.
In the
Yeah,
background
the picture's
for
gonna be on
that
the
as
screen right now. I'm gonna go ahead and obligate whoever's editing.
No,
for
no,
that.
don't say that because then you have to do stuff in editing.
Yep, I've just obligated Niels to do it in editing, so
Okay,
Or
if
maybe
you
he'll
just
do
Yeah,
the
remind
editing
me
Niels
too.
will
to-
do that. That's awesome, by the way.
You also probably make a spreadsheet to do it.
yeah, Niels is gonna make a spreadsheet that automatically puts that picture into the
Niels probably can
failed
do.
video.
Do you know the spreadsheets where you can play Tetris in them? Niels probably does it like every time he goes to school. Like he goes on a new computer, he just makes that spreadsheet to play Tetris for a while.
Well, I know on
No.
the graphing calculators at school, I purposely like make little programs and stuff.
on school I also have a graphical calculator and I made tic-tac-toe on it because I was bored.
Yeah, like my teacher was showing us this long, like drawn out process to do a problem. I said, or you could just do this, and then I'm like showed her the program, and then she got really mad because she says I'm always trying to run up her.
I once did tic-tac-toe on a touchscreen on an SPS, which is like a control unit for like industrial systems for robots and other things like that. So that was quite fun.
Play
Like,
tic-tac-toe with a robot.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily with the robot, but on the touchscreen and the
And
SPS
do
is
you
just a
realize your
control unit
employer
that
has access
also
to this and stuff?
does, can control robots.
It's like enemy logs on. I mean, we log on Monday and find enemy on here. It's like, why didn't you work, enemy? My employer listened to the podcast and he fired me.
No, that
Tampering
was
with the
like
device.
that wasn't an actual.
No, that was a previous
system
employer.
that
He already
worked-
fired
that-
him. Okay, it's good thing.
No, that wasn't an actual SPS that was working in production. So it was like some testing.
Actual working, okay.
Right.
Do we want
Enemy
to do
doing work?
stuff we did this week, or do we just want to cut it here?
I think we should cut it here.
Yeah,
it's
it's
been-
already one.
Yeah,
One
I didn't
20
do
or
that
something.
much this week. so.
I feel like I talked quite a while.
No.
Enemy, you don't talk a lot.
At work, I don't.
Right.
I can picture
What-
like enemy at work is just like those little kid on the playground that just sits in the corner and minds his own business.
I'm making my own
Enemy talks with the
sandcastle.
SPS. Oh well.
Ah,
Oh no. So yeah, I guess that means
Yeah, do the outro.
yeah.
Outro.
I'm never gonna say it myself, you know. Yeah. So, people, we have 3 pending quotes.
No,
Two of them-
don't do the quotes. Don't do the quotes.
Two of them have.
okay. You know what? From now on the outro is vout out, and that's it. Okay.
No.
Okay, bye. Bye.
3 pending quotes. 2
No,
UR songs.
just
All
say
dependent on
bye
it.
so I can cut it over
Do
here.
the quotes.
Okay, who said this? God doesn't play that with you. That's with the universe. Bam, done. Short quotes.
Einstein.
Everyone should know it. If you don't know it, I hate you. Yeah. Also, please try to find the previous quotes.
And you have to listen to the other podcast about won't repeat.
Nope, because I will put them in the show notes.
Ah, yeah, that's
Oh,
also.
I have a
if we have a
dedicated
bit more
little
time,
section
I want
to
to
it.
say a bit more about Quarry things.
Oh God, enemy.
No, like
And
this
I-
voucher
I-
special
I
edition.
had this idea earlier this week which turned out to not be possible. Like the idea was you could have
Okay,
a
thanks,
movable
bye.
villa cage, but the
Yeah,
storage would be
bye.
still stationary.
Yeah.
Continue,
And
sorry.
I
You,
stopped.
like he talked.
He stopped.
No, I'm still recording, but
Oh, okay.
Can I finish my thought or
Yes,
we
go
just
ahead.
start?
1 minute.
Okay, basically, he talked about movable storage, but that would be horrible, right? And super annoying. So you could do
50 seconds.
stationary storage, but movable villa cage, and try to make like automated ice path builder, like item stream builder, with slime machines. But
40
the problem with
seconds.
that is, you to get the water in there, you would have to get ice and glowstone in there, but you cannot melt the ice without the player around. So either you push a player there, which would populate the chunks if you didn't unpopulate chunks, which would be bad. Or you do it like that, and you just push ice there and then glowstone afterwards. And then you could make item streams with slime block machines, which could possibly be a way to do movable villa cages, but stationary storage.
20
Done.
seconds. Okay, see ya.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
One more thing.